Hello and welcome to Nothing and Like It, thankfully the only podcast that chronicles the FWA via its appearances on television. I am the Method Man, Kieran Lefort, and joining me as ever, the Ghostface Killer, Eddie Sideburns. Eddie, how are you?
I like that new nickname. I might stick with that. I'm doing.
If you go back to wrestling,
yeah. If I ever go back to wrestling, I could be DDP and get another couple of years and then start going back again. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. We're on the road. We're on the road to British Uprising III. Let's get to it. Let's go. Can't wait.
Fantastic. And of course, the old dirty bastard, Andy Ogden. Andy, how are you?
I thought you were going to follow up after Ghostface with the face only a mother could love.
No, it's always themed.
I'm not bad, lads. Uprising.
Uprising.
These two have been singing this so much, we could probably do our own cover version just from recordings of.
Yeah, get John on his ukulele while you're at it.
We could be like the band the WCW attempted with like Shane Helms and stuff like that, and we can just start singing up like.
We are the roughest-looking 3 count. Hey, they got knickers thrown out and we get bricks. So we are here with the final 2 episodes of FWA on the Wrestling Channel before British Uprising 3. We're going to start with episode number 31, November the 5th, 2004. And we cold open on Tony Giles outside Broxbourne Civic Hall. And he and the cameraman are just having a chat when Tony notices that Johnny Storm is mingling with the queuing punters, so they rush on over. Johnny's got this clipboard and he's gathering their signatures on a petition to let him return to the FWA. There is a bleeped line where he says he thought he was somewhere else and there were tributes on tonight. The bleep is over Brian Dixon. Because after we shot it, Johnny came up to me and went, "Please don't put that on TV. Dixon gives me most of my work."
He needs to keep that income as a low rent expat.
Yeah, absolutely. He claims the petition is written on special, expensive imported Thai paper, and he reels off some of the names that have allegedly signed this. Phil Austin, the biggest jabroni in the FWA. He name drops promoters Brian Manelli and John Copping. Ross Gordon, Mad Eli, and then he says Giant Haystacks signed it earlier this evening. Giant Haystacks have been dead for 8 years at that point.
Question for you, yeah. All them people signed it, but did you?
I honestly don't know.
I'd be very disappointed if you didn't, mate.
Wow. Wonder if he still got it. He could go back and I bet they were to sign up to a mailing list or something like the WWF would do, when they would get you to write in, to pray for the recovery of Elizabeth or Randy Savage, and all they would do was stick you on the mailing list for the merchandise catalogue.
Yeah, knowing Johnny probably has in that loft with the missing tapes of fucking UWA and all that.
So he closes out by saying he's coming back to the FWA and there's nothing Alex Shane or anyone in the FWA can do about it. Peace out, B-Rabbits, and he's off. And then you can hear a little kid chasing after him for an autograph. As Tony asks the camera if this means Johnny is back in the FWA.
I was going to say, here's a question for you. And I was looking at Johnny's attire. Remember Von Dutch as a clothing brand?
He's fucking covered in it, isn't he?
Yeah. I know. Charlie XCX recently did a song called Von Dutch, but I've not seen clothing anywhere. Nowadays for good decade since I've seen any Von Dutch.
You're right.
It felt like at the end that Tony Giles was trying to say this in like the version of like the "I'm Ron Burgundy" when someone puts a question mark at the end of like the teleprompter. Like Johnny Storm is back.
Tony will read anything you put on the teleprompter.
But two-teethed Broxbourne folk and no one cares about Morecambe. He's popping off is Johnny at this point.
Yeah, he's looking for a feud maybe with Greg Lambert or who represents, but nobody represents Broxbourne, do they, in the FWA?
The Broxbourne Civic Hall.
Yeah.
He's found the building.
So we cut from that to a Steve Corino versus Alex Shane hype video. It's an extended version of the Erase the Day video from all the way back on episode 9 that recapped all the stuff at New Frontiers, from Corino hopping the rail, the mic stuff with Alex, and the first 2 falls of the match with Doug Williams. And then this also includes the final fall of that match, Corino beating Johnny in Newport with Alex telling him after the pin that the match wasn't for the XPW European title. Corino helping Aviv Mayan beat Alex that same night. A line from a Shane promo where he says Corino will never come back to the FWA, and then all the stuff we saw last month with Corino returning in Morecambe, getting attacked by Hayden Alex, beating Hayden, and then it ends with clips from Corino's "You're nothing but evil and you're nothing but bad" promo from months ago, and he ends it with "Give me the match I want because Steve Corino's coming for you," and that match will be tonight.
Woo! I know it ends up being like a TV main event, but it almost feels like this should have been the main event of Uprising with the standard of this video package.
Hopefully there's a better video package leading into Uprising.
Well, I think as well, one of the things is, at least in this feud, both guys are talking on the mic and actually, cutting promos against each other, even backstage, whereas and it's something I noted, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, there's only one-sided talking in the British Uprising 3 main event.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. Well, one side could talk and the other one wasn't his forte, let's say. So opening titles, and then To the Void, where a finally audio mixed properly John Atkins welcomes us to the season finale of FWA TV. There's a flickering white thing at the top of the screen where I haven't keyed out the green screen properly, but let's ignore that. We see Colt Cabahhhna making his entrance with a large inflatable banana in the inset screen. John sets up the Corino Shane main event and then says the match we thought last week was going to be 5-star Mark Belton versus Colt Cabahhhna is not going ahead. He says moments before the show was due to start, they received a call from Belton, stranded at a service station on the M6, claiming his tyres have been slashed. FWA officials were struggling to find a replacement for Belton and had to accept an offer of help from the very man 5-star claimed was responsible for this case of vehicular sabotage. So off we go at Broxbourne, and here comes Tony Giles again, this time wandering down the aisle, and he hands a note to John Atkins, ring announcer edition. And John reads, in a match where the opponent has been allowed to compete only on the condition that the match is not sanctioned by the FWA, which means that neither wrestler is insured under FWA rules. Sidebar, that's a fucking lawsuit waiting to happen. And the opponent will not be paid for tonight's match. Cut to Cabahhhna going, I'm still getting paid, right? Colt Cabahhhna's opponent is Johnny Storm's music hits. Big pop for Storm's announcement. He comes out with a petition and he gets a bunch of fans to sign it, including Chris and Sarah Hatch and whoever that twat was that pushed in front of Sarah right in front of the camera. So yeah, our first match is Johnny Storm versus Colt Cabahhhna from Hot Wired, September the 5th, 2004. They start with Johnny whipping Cabahhhna into the ropes, who just slides out under the bottom rope and theatrically signs the petition before sliding back in. They do a Three Stooges spot in the corner and then have a game of slapsies as Nick London confesses to have been calling Youngie the ref Peter this whole time. Colt plays silly buggers in the slapsies game, prompting Johnny to tell him, if we're going to play seriously. And we fade to break, and about 10 minutes of this match goes in the bin. Ad break, Raven promo video, the Gloria Hunniford Mako Satomura stable grows. Maybe this is Dean Ayers' team for Uprising against Greg Lambert's team.
The Hunni monster, as we
the Phoenix Gloria Hunniford teaming with Raven. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's all bird themed, isn't it?
Quote the Hunni, nevermore.
Can I just say how young Colt Cabahhhna looks in this? I know obviously again it's the wonders of time, but geez,
yeah, he is 24 at this point.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Back from break, Cabahhhna is sat on the top turnbuckle holding his balls, set up for the Johnny Storm double jump headlock, which he then turns into a top rope wrist lock, and I wrote, such danger, such innovation. Cabahhhna runs into a boot in the corner, but blocks a double axe handle, boxes Johnny's ears and pulls him into a small package, and they repeatedly reverse this, rolling all over the ring, with Youngie crawling after them trying to count, and eventually they break, stand up, and then all three of them take a dizzy bump at the same time.
The comment, I think it was from Nick London on commentary, like the ref rolling around like a pregnant hamster.
Yes.
And I noted it obviously where they were all dizzy and fell over. I said I've seen Youngie like that in the Market Tavern in Cleethorpes, so he's got previous.
Yeah, where the only thing he's trying to count is the number of pints he's had.
Exactly, mate.
Are you two like me? do you forget that Colt Cabahhhna can do moonsaults?
Yeah,
Because
no,
it always surprises me when he flies.
and I've seen him do moonsaults before, but it sometimes does surprise me because again, more of his wrestling style is kind of world of sport kind of stuff. So when he pulls out the moonsault, it's like, whoa.
This is the tour where he fell in love with that. He was over here and was doing all-star stuff and wrestling all over the place and watching the fucking wrestling channel. And this is where he discovered World of Sport. And from there on, he kept coming back and coming back. So yeah, Colt pops up into a middle rope moonsault, which shocked the hell out of me. He's signalling for something, says Nick London. What could he be going for? As Colt very loudly yells, "Brain Buster!"
He starts off saying suplex.
Yes.
And then goes into brain bust.
Mm.
And he
So your
falls
choices are limited, Nick. Toss a coin.
and he falls into the trope of obviously wrestlers say the move and then you go, yeah, that's not going to be the end product of this.
Yeah. Johnny slips out of it, hits his backstabber for a 2 count. Colt comes back with a tornado suplex into a double arm submission hold, and when Storm refuses to submit, he basically turns it into the James TIE Fighter move. Storm swats away a middle rope dropkick, hits the wheelbarrow DDT, but Colt kicks out. Storm tries to poison Rana. Colt throws him off and spins him into Big Show / Molina's Hog Log leg drop reverse DDT thing. And he wasn't looking at his camera, and his head snaps towards the lens when I called that the Hog Log.
I've never heard that before. It sounds like some sexual manoeuvre, doesn't it?
I think it's a new legacy thing. I think that's what they call it on that. So Johnny kicks out of that, and after a bit of a struggle, hits 90% of a Wonder Whirl, but takes too long to make the cover, and Colt kicks out. And then we go into the finish. Cabahhhna rolls to the apron, grabs a slingshot sunset flip on the way back in, and they reverse it a couple of times, ending with Storm grabbing hold of the ropes to get the pin. Now, that's the TV version. The full version is out there on YouTube, and we watched it. I hope I watched it. Did you watch it?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm not going to go full play-by-play, but thoughts on the full match compared to how it was cut down for TV?
There's a lot missing from it.
Yeah.
And it feels like it has been done, because it's quite funny. I'll go back to what John Atkins, Mr. Hardcore himself, says at the beginning of the show. Packed 60 minutes. And a lot of this has just been kind of left to the wayside. When we've then watched the match in full, it's like there's some good stuff, and part in the match, especially when he goes to the break and then comes back to the match, it's like, wow, what have I went away from the TV? Have I suddenly, suddenly something happened with my recording, and it's just something's happened, or I thought something had happened with the match, and then obviously when we were discussing the homework and I saw it was there, I was like, oh right, okay. But yeah, I enjoyed the full match, the one that's on YouTube. I don't know. I'm interested to see your thoughts on it, because obviously on it being on TV, with certain things that are being said and stuff like that. But
so that you kind of have to put out of your mind, because it was a different time.
Yeah. No.
And all the stuff the crowd are saying has been on TV before.
That's true. But I really enjoyed the match in full, and would have probably rather had the match in full on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt it. It did feel. I know it was cut out, but it felt like two different matches. The 10-minute version, I still enjoyed. I give it 3 stars out of 5. But watching the full 20-minute version, I would have said add another half a star on if we're rating it. And I know it mentioned about like the sex spot that they did where they were all on like all fours like a dog, and I thought that was really good. And it's a shame it was cut out of the broadcast version. But yeah, no, it was very good, and you can tell why. I know Johnny Storm's been doing his vignettes in Morecambe/Thailand, but you can tell why he's been missed from the show, because he's such a talent.
This was a victim of 45 minutes to the frame.
Damn you, Kieran.
Damn you, Sean Herbert.
Yes. So let me just try and like set the scene here, right? I have 2 matches going on this episode. This full segment of Cabahhhna versus Storm goes 25 minutes if you include the entrances and the whole match and everything that happens afterwards, right?
Right.
25 minutes. The same with Alex Shane versus Steve Corino. That was about 25 minutes all told. 2 lots of 25 minutes already doesn't fit into a 45-minute TV show. That's without thinking about the promos that are going on, the hype video, and the John Atkins segments, anything like that. If you put all this together, it would, as John said, be 60 minutes without ad breaks. Something's got to give. And if it's this match or the fucking bosses match, which one do you think is going to get shown in full?
No, I get you. I'm just very glad we have the video that's now on YouTube.
Yeah. I did notice also the sound is so much better on that other one. We need to
talk about the audience and some of the things that come out of them. We also need to talk about the video that is obviously because Johnny Storm's taken off a Colt Cabahhhna's DVD, and obviously the thing that's on before it is a rounds match where the ring announcer, and this popped me for no reason whatsoever, calls Colt Cabahhhna, and it just sounded like Alan Partridge had been given the role of wrestling MC. He's like, and the winner of the vote, Colt Cabahhhna, and I was just like, I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what country you're in. His surname rhymes with banana. I had to cut stuff down, and unfortunately, it was all the comedy that had to go.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I really noticed was the chemistry between these two. They had such good physical chemistry. I think they'd had one match against each other before, and that was like 2 days before this one.
They made it work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the sound, I was talking about sound. The sound is so much better because there's no commentary. It means you can hear all the jokes they're telling in the ring.
Yep.
And you can hear how much the crowd are enjoying it. Unfortunately, it means you can also hear homophobic Beavis next to the hard cam yelling very unfunny stuff and a laugh that's just. I reckon it was that dickhead from Brenttown Hall. Do you remember the guy who ran up to the barricade when Alex was throwing out a challenge to anyone and just went, "Oi, Wankstain," really lamely, and then ran back to his seat?
Yeah.
There were things you could hear like limited edition my arse. There was a bit where someone just shouted "Get on with the wrestling," which was during the comedy parts. But some of the comedy, as we mentioned, was great. It was quite funny where it was like the bit was shouting, "Will you get behind me?" and everyone popping for that, and Johnny wanting to go amateur, and obviously the whole Johnny takes up the arse kind of chance and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was really, I say it was. I understand why, because again, this is the Alex Shane verse. You're not going to get anywhere. You know, Shane's not going to have his match get edited. But I'm glad it's on YouTube at least somewhere. Yeah,
I mean, in hindsight, if this company had any sort of plan or structure, this and Shane and Corino would have been separated out onto different episodes and been allowed to run longer rather than having to truncate both of them to different degrees to fit them on the same show. I wonder if we thought we had one more week of TV than we actually did before Uprising.
And was Belton just genuinely off this show, I take it? Or was this just something that was kind of storylined to happen, I guess? Or,
no, it's an angle.
Yeah. It was
I'm amazed to the extent to which this company continually works Eddie Sideburns.
You never know. Reasonable belief.
Eddie, they mentioned about a flat tyre on the M6, so, you know.
Yeah,
the Chris Ridgeway problem, as he's known locally nowadays.
It's just very funny that he's accusing Johnny of doing it, and yet Johnny has ended up making the show. So it's like Johnny suddenly ran, seen his car and went boom, and then got in the car and drove off.
Yep. So Alex Shane is in the locker room with the FWA title belt. He makes a lot of mouth sounds, a lot of horrible, like sticky mouth noises. It was disgusting. He says he gets a warm, fuzzy feeling inside looking at Doug Williams' blood on the belt. And he talks a bit about their history, talking about starting on the same day at the same wrestling school and wrestling in all the same places, but always staying out of each other's way. He says, while Doug was travelling around the world, he was at home trying to elevate British wrestling. Whenever they got any sort of TV or radio publicity, it was always Doug Williams who was pushed to the front and held up as being like the best in the country. He says he's waited a long time to settle who's better, the entertainer or the wrestler. He says Doug Williams versus Alex Shane will change the course of the FWA in British wrestling, and there's 2 things he can do about it. And because he hasn't mentioned it at all, some text at the bottom of the screen pops up to tell us that it's Alex Shane versus Doug Williams of British Uprising 3. But first, it's Shane versus Corino.
Yeah, it's like, mate, are we going to talk about Corino at all and what's going on tonight? You just...
I think it's pretty obvious that this was shot with no real idea of when exactly it was going to air.
Okay.
And it was just sort of unfortunate that it had to go before the Corino match. And I think it only works with him not talking about Corino in the context of what happens in that match, which we obviously will get to.
Yeah.
Kieran.
Yes.
Hello. This promo was a promo of one confident man.
He's the fucking booker. Of course he's a confident man.
He is. My God. His promo ability just fucking... just everyone out the water, innit? He's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But I did want to ask a question. I'm full of questions on this episode, but the FWA title, is it a rebadged Intercontinental title?
We covered this right back at the beginning.
Did we?
Yeah. Yeah, it's from Jamar Belts. They basically have a bunch of basic designs you can have, right? If you don't want to pay for a full custom thing. So yeah, it's pretty much an Intercontinental title just with FWA Heavyweight Champion on it.
Right.
And the All England belt is the proof version they send over.
Yeah.
So they send that, you go, yeah, that's great, and send it back. But LSR didn't do that. Mark Sloan paid for the main belt, and LSR went to Jamar. If I give you X amount of money, I think, I can't remember what it was. I did know the figure. Let's say 500 quid. And let's say the main belt is $1,000 and the proof is 500 quid. So if I give you 500 quid, can we keep the proof? He says, yeah, all right. So they've automatically got a secondary title. If you get up close to the All England belt, it says FWA Heavyweight Champion on it.
Right. Oh, it's like nowadays where I think every lower level, like Brit Rest Indies, probably the United Kingdom title, but with like Rochdale Championship Wrestling on the front. It's so blatantly obvious. But I did like the bit of about Alice's promo about Doug's blood on the belt, and there was some good material in there from Big Al. Good stuff.
Doug Williams could not be found for comment.
I don't think it's ever been known apart from that one promo where he said to the crowd, Alex Shane's promised to give you his money back if he don't give you this title match. That's the only promo he seems to have done.
The only promo is referring people to trading in standards and getting their refunds. That's basically Doug Williams is a narc.
Can I do an episode of Where's Williams?
Yeah.
Where's Williams? Where's Williams? Where's Williams? Where's Williams?
That has to play all the way to the end because I don't know how to stop those clips once they start. I think clicking on them again restarts them. So, your champion, Doug Williams, was in the dark match of Hot Wired.
Ooh.
Yes. So, it was a bit of a ploy to get people to turn up to buy the ringside tickets, right? To buy the expensive tickets, because if you bought the more expensive tickets, you got to let in early and you got the bonus match, you got the dark match. So he put The champion Alex Shane put the champion in the dark match, but in storyline, he's flexing his power as the managing director, having control over what the champion does, and is punishing him by putting him in the dark match against Joe Legend.
Ah, Big Joe.
Yes, so the idea is like Doug is going to get another beating from one of the people that beat him up in Morecambe, which was only the night before this, actually.
Ah.
So there you go. I got to do an episode of Where's Williams. I'm so happy.
I'm
Right.
so proud of you.
So-
You did well. 5 stars.
Yeah. Back to John in the Void. He does the barest of setups, reminding us that Corino beat Vanson 2 weeks ago, and now after 18 months, he will finally get his hands on the show stealer.
I'd like to point out here, lads, about this John in the Void bit. And that video of Steve Corino to the left of him just looks like he's shouting at John through a level box.
It does look a little bit like, why have you trapped me in this telly, you bastard, doesn't it?
He'll never escape. Never.
You know, we go back to Broxbourne. The hard cam is on the piss for some reason. I think that reason is the bored arty French filmmaker who was operating it, and she'd have enough of wrestling by this point.
Well, I think I pointed out to you before recording it was on a fucking slant, this ring, weren't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised people weren't tumbling to the corner of the screen. Shane comes out with the title belt, Hayde Vanson and the Leather Jacket Appreciation Society of Styx, Martin Stone and Leroy Kincaid. As Nick London is telling us that Shane has been removed as managing director after the Danny Williams incident, we see Hayde Vanson masterfully tip... I don't know if you caught this. He tips this dickhead fan's full pint upside down all over the guy's shoes. Fucking howled. Shane takes the mic and orders Commissioner Flash Barker to the ring. So head doorman Phil duly obliges. Alex demands the match be made no DQ. And Flash asks if he makes it no DQ, does he have Alex's word that he won't try to weasel out of it? And Alex says it's verbal contracts and all the fans are witnesses. Flash then says it's verbal contracts and all the fans are witnesses. Cheers, Phil. He says the match will indeed be no DQ, which makes Alex happy. And then adds that Vanson and the Leather Daddies are banned from ringside, which makes Alex furious. Corino comes out. Alex whispers to Hayden Sticks and the henchgoons to clear out. And after the bell, but before we make contact, we fade to the ad break.
I did want to point out about the I think it was the crowd chanting Alex sucks, Alex sucks. You know, here is this lone voice when it all goes quiet. He also swallows.
Oh yeah, they were, you know, nothing if not witty. The FWA crowds of 2004.
I like how Hayde looked like a small lad you'd see in a holiday in Benidorm or Tenerife with his.
He's just down in a pair of shorts, isn't he?
It's like you would. It's like a Ned or a Chav you'd see who's finally discovered the sun for the first time, and they're out on holiday, and they're like, "Oh, I don't need to wear my hat and all this. I can just have my short."
So in the ad break, we get an FWA Academy ad with Max Voltage doing his voiceover down the phone and Loki giving a Tombstone voiced endorsement. This might also be a good time to talk about the Uprising 3 competition ad that would have been running during these ad breaks at the same time. The prize is a skybox for the winner and 9 guests, a complimentary stocked minibar, and visits from FWA stars throughout the show. So can you answer the question? Could you have won this skybox?
Oh my.
At British Uprising 3, FWA superstar James Tye will compete in a 30-minute Iron Man match. But who will be his opponent? Is it A, CJ Piles, B, AJ Styles, or C, KJ Tiles? Text 60088 or whatever it was for £1.50 or however the fuck they were charging this, and you might win this.
I did wonder with this competition, did it end up like Benno's fake prize?
I wondered exactly the same thing. I have no idea how legally compliant this was. It doesn't feel like there's nearly enough small print on this screen. If you won this, please get in touch.
I'm surprised in the terms and conditions it says if you can't attend this show, there's 2 things you can do about it. There's nothing can like it.
I am a big fan of CJ Piles.
Yeah,
KJ Tiles Tiling Company probably appreciates the advertising.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think I came up with this question. It's me doing the voiceover. I think I came up with the question. It was just left to me to do this.
refrigerated mini bar.
The thing that struck me, though, is like, I get showing the Sky Dome as the background with the text over it, but surely a generic shot of a wrestling ring would have been better than a still of the Sky Dome in ice rink mode.
You turn up and your events, your skybox is booked for the wrong night. It's actually the whole.
So Kieran, it's you who's designed them posters for AEW at Wembley where it doesn't mention anything about wrestling. Put a picture of a football game in the background.
In my defence, this was running on the wrestling channel in the middle of the fucking FWA TV show. It's not just a random poster plastered up around London somewhere.
The phenomenal one, CJ Piles. My heart goes.
Is he your new favourite wrestler?
Honestly, I love it. It just popped for the names. CJ Piles just sounded so great. It's like that 5-star wrestling game where it was like Randy Orton or Kurt Angel.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
So when we come back, the fists are flying, and Alex scoots to the outside to avoid getting hoofed in the face. Corino gives chase and batters Shane some more. Stone? No, doesn't touch him. Rolls him back in, only to get booted himself when he returns to the ring. Alex takes over with greetings from Finsbury Park, and after Corino recovers, bails to stall for a bit. Andy looks like he's just swallowed a wasp. You all right?
It is a can of dragon soup, blue raspberry flavour.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's bloody sweet. I would say like, dangerous as well. But might wake me up.
So Steve connects with a Yakuza kick in the corner, and then for the second time on this episode, Nick London wonders aloud what a wrestler is setting up for as they clearly call for a brainbuster. Unlike Colt, Corino hits his, heads up to the top rope. Shane just about crotches him on the top rope, and then Corino just about ducks the Shane-sation, sending Alex to the floor.
Oh, buddy, Alex Shane missed him by a fucking country mile here. And I don't think Corino hardly ducked, did he?
No, Corino hardly ducked. It looked to me like Alex was trying to brush his hair with the back of his leg. Like, I don't know how big miles are in your country, but this didn't look like it missed. Like, he clearly makes contact with the top of Corino's head as he goes over.
VAR, mate. I'd be checking for that one.
Very Alex rubbish. There you go. Corino dings the bell on Alex's ding-dong, and then they fuck up a spot of Corino swinging the guardrail into Alex's gut because it's too long and it hits the ring before it hits him. They brawl up and down the stands and onto the stage. Corino yells, ECW, prompting Nick London to wish he'd embraced the NWA and just use hammerlocks instead. Well done, Coin. You finally got a laugh out of me after 31 episodes.
When the nut shot with the bell, I was like, won't someone please think of the little show stealers? Because it's just so funny. But I also like that Nick London was like calling out Giles for repeating his lines. I thought that was quite funny at a point as well.
Did you notice Corino, when he scoops up the bell, he grabs what he thinks is the bell hammer and then realises he's got the microphone and has to hand it off to John and get the hammer off him instead? That's not the only little botch in this match that gave me a giggle. So the brawl goes up onto the stage where, after a titanic struggle, Shane pile drives Steve on the stage and busts him open. Ad break, and when we come back, they're back in the ring. Alex is fully in control. Corner clothesline, the old Kevin Nash boot choke, and the now legal rope-assisted abdominal stretch, because it's no DQ, remember?
Just about that was it the pile driver spot on the stage?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bit where they go brawling near this wall, where Alex gets thrown into the wall, and I just love the sight of a solitary fat man just standing there like nothing's going on, drinking a pint.
He's just not amused. He's not. He just doesn't move. He's like someone who you've dragged and you went, right, come on, we'll go for a night out. And then you go for the night out and you go, oh, there's wrestling on. And he's like, well, I don't believe in that shit. So but he goes anyway because he doesn't want to be alone. And he's just sitting beside the radiator, just watching as Alex Shane gets thrown into the wall, and he just doesn't move. He's so nonplussed. It was brilliant.
Our Jeff did a thing like that at a Breed Wrestling show at Hex, and I think Rampage Brown, like Irish whipped, I think it might have been Brady Phillips into chairs, and it's our Jeff's. Everyone else has cleared out, and Jeff's just sat there solitary with his pint, and then Rampage just grabs his arm and goes, "Ray."
Oh, it's because Rampage is his favourite. He wants to be as close to the action as possible.
Oh yeah, it's so. But this bit was just like it's unintentional comedy. But well done, that man.
So Corino hip tosses out of this abdominal stretch, can't even say that, and reverses the one night stand into an STO. And after a battle over a German suplex, hits an enziguri. He winds up for the lariat, but Alex kicks the arm and then his face and hits the one night stand. And Steve Corino is allowed to kick out of the one night stand. By this point, all of Corino's hair has gone from blonde to bright red. It's gross. It looks like a dirty mop, doesn't it? Stringy and a horrible colour.
Yeah, he looks like he's been covered himself in the jam on the face, and then it's went in his hair.
Alex tries from the checkout from the neck up, but Corino slips out into the buffalo hold. 3 times Shane tries to break it by running him back into the corner, but Steve holds on. Consciousness fading, Shane falls forwards with Corino still attached and crushes the legs of referee Andy Quilden. I thought this was a fucking great bump.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you mentioned about the buffalo hold, every time that's said, I just can't get out of my head. Buffalo stands by Nana Cherry. But yeah, the spot with Quilden's excellent, really good.
Yeah, it's really creative. As John Atkins is helping Andy Quilden, Corino locks in the hold again, and Leroy Kincaid hits the ring. Steve sends him packing. Styx is next, and in a bit you can't really see because someone's head is blocking it from the hard cam. Corino boots Styx in the gut and accidentally puts his foot in Styx's jacket pocket. And there's a little bit of hopping around as he has to get his foot out. Anyway, Styx gets flung out too. Corino goes back to the hold as Ross Jordan nearly kills the cameraman to get to Styx, and Jack Xavier hits ringside to deal with Kincaid. They brawl to the back as Linsky comes out to take over referee duties to a chorus of boos. He forces Corino to break the hold when Shane grabs the ropes in a no DQ match, whatever. Alex then pulls Linsky into the path of the lariat, and that's our second ref done for. Shane with a low blow, but Corino backs out of a pile driver attempt and pulls off the elbow pad. Lariat, cover. Youngie is half in the ring. 1, 2, kick out. Martin Stone makes it as far as the apron and is very confused when Youngie blocks him and gets out a yellow card. Aviv Mayan pulls him down and they start brawling. So Youngie leaves the ring to deal with this. Hayde Vanson hits the ring and super kicks Corino. Flash Barker runs out and drags Hayde out of the ring and they brawl up the aisle. We cut to the wide shot and from the crowd, Doug Williams appears in street clothes, grabs the title belt and hits Alex with it from the top rope. Corino with the lariat again, and we cut to the camera chasing Youngie back down the aisle into the ring. He dives in and makes the count. Steve Corino wins.
Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I don't know, it's all the stupidness and all the. It's a Shane versus Walk and Brawl, but it meant something because of obviously it's been so much build up for this. I really enjoyed it. I might be the only one. I really did enjoy it though. It was quite good, I thought.
Andy, the biggest fan of Alex Shane's matches.
So this match, with the finish, especially the old Avengers Assemble finish, which people say overdone in wrestling. The innovator of this was one Alex the Avenger Shane. Yeah, this was excellent.
Lying man.
This were excellent because everyone who got involved were all people who've been involved in the Shaneverse, like against him in matches, and they've all got beef against each other. I enjoyed all like the late kickouts as well. Corino winning, which I thought, yeah, no, it's the right result if you're gonna do something with him down the line. But I'm sure we'll get into that. But capital letters at the end of my notes, which was story, all caps, 4 1/4.
Wow.
An absolute joy to watch.
Yeah, I went 4. This was everything made sense. Everything really made sense. Finally, the baby faces actually could get involved and do stuff, because any other match has kind of been not so much baby faces coming in to make the saves, more so kind of all the heels, and then that's it. But then you obviously had Jack Xavier Headvance and stuff. You had Ross Jordan, you had Aviv Mayan, and you had people taking out other people. And everyone apparently hated Linsky because he got lariated, and then even Alex Shane was kicking him out the ring. It was really, really good. And capital letters have got good shit. So that's what I'm saying.
Eddie,
Yes.
do you think you would have given this an extra 1/4 of a star if it weren't for that wanker who stood up in front of the camera whilst Doug Williams was ready to hit the belt shot? I was like, fucking sit down.
Yeah.
As we've seen with Broxbourne Civic shows, that, you know, it's a great venue to go to. Absolute arse end of London, or outskirts of London.
Nowhere near London.
Well, nowhere near London,
but it's easy to get to from a lot of places.
Yeah. A shithole of a town centre with a great Morrison's, but the amount of shows we've watched from there, if it's FWA or Dragon Gate UK, which me and Kieran have covered before, it's always some fucker standing up in front of that hard cam, isn't it?
Yeah.
The problem we talked about this before. The problem is the best place to put that hard cam is the back row of the stadium seats.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they want to sell as many of those as possible, so they've sold the 2 right in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked about this before. I always wanted to build a platform behind the stage and have the hard cam on that, so you're facing out against. So basically, you're facing the opposite direction from the hard cam angle at all of these shows. That way, nobody can get in the way of it. But that costs money and takes time, and it's easier to just go and put a camera in a seat at the back of the room.
I think it's what I said, from even when this match begins, the crowd are on their feet. The crowd are excited for like Corino's entrance and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and one of the
'cause
things
it's
I
been
do
built.
like, it's a heated start. So like some of my friends have been talking about it, and obviously it didn't start with just a lock up and that's it. It started with actual they were punching each other. But I did like that Corino wanted it in the ring. So when Alex took it at the beginning or tried to take it outside, Corino got right back in, because that's where he wanted to fight. And then there was obviously the stuff where like Corino kind of not no-sold, but he recovered quickly from the checkup from the neck up. Or no, the welcome to Finsbury Park. And kind of just still went after him and stuff like that. But it was, it just everything worked well with this so much. It was just really, really good. And yes, the Shaneverse works as much as sometimes I've kind of went, it's his own thing. It genuinely does work because he knows how to get emotion.
Eddie, and as well, it's made us forget about that Steve Corino against Hayde Vanson match.
Yeah,
a couple episodes ago, which one of the biggest letdowns in 30 odd episodes of this.
Yeah, and I think like as well, one of the things I do want to shout out, and we mentioned it, it's a decent spot that got to the ref bump. Like that's innovative. I don't think we've seen something like that before, where he's passing out from a submission hold, so he sees the referees kind of near him, and then just crushes his legs and takes him out in essence within that by kind of falling. Like, it's giving him way too much credit, but the credit is where credit is due. This was really well set.
You're about to hear the words of the low man.
Oh,
For me, this is nowhere near as good as I remember it being. In my head, this was a wild 4.5 star crazy wild brawl all over the place, but it really isn't. the only weapon, apart from Doug using the belt at the finish, in a no disqualification match, is the bell getting rung on Shane's cock. I do think it really picks up when they do all the Jeff Jarrett shit towards the end. Like, that's all really well done, and it makes sense. Although I think there is a case to be made that Jack Xavier should have been scrapping with Haid, as they have the last man standing match coming up, rather than it being Cue Ball Phil. The crowd, I would say, loved all the dog and pony show stuff towards the end. And I don't think this is bad by any stretch. I was just disappointed. It's nowhere near as good as I remember it being. I went 3 1/4.
But then again, if you have, I know you said the lack of like weapon shots with it being an ODQ match, but sometimes, like you say, ladder matches, and some of the best ladder matches are when they don't use the ladder and just use it like odd times.
I think it's just like a case of my memory. I was just expecting more out of the stipulation.
If we look at it from a show perspective in terms of that, the stipulation is only just added as the match is about to begin.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that they're not like, oh, looking underneath the ring, there is trash
but
can,
there's still...
there is this. I get where you're coming from, though. Like,
fine.
I 100% get where you're coming from. And again, I'm not disagreeing because I get with the point. I just think it kind of makes sense for mainly that stipulation is there for the Avengers moment, really, if we look at it.
Plus as well, there's limitations with Broxbourne City, with it being a smaller venue, and to say, I think I said to both of you guys about this match, the way it's been built, if it should be the main event of British Uprising 3, and because of it's a big, vast space, they'd have more opportunity to you use weapons, whereas Broxbourne, all they got is that bit of seating, or you do the spot where they're dangling over the end of the temple.
Yeah, I was about to disagree because of all the other like hardcore stuff that's happened in Broxbourne, like the Shane and Xavier last man standing match, like all of the Alex and All versus the Family stuff. But they were preset stipulations. And I guess when it came to the family matches, that would be Ulf would have the hardcore bin of death, that he'd pull all the stuff that I bought in Poundland out of and bash people over the head with. Like I said, I'm not saying it's bad. It just wasn't anywhere near as good as I remembered it being.
Would you wander around Poundland with someone and just go, hey, do you want to try this on your head like Mickey Rourke and the Wrestler, where he wanders around?
I would wander around Poundland by myself trying things like that.
It'd be more like Louis Theroux with that guy from AIW just banging a tea tray against his head, wouldn't it?
Just going, bang. Yep, that'll work. It kind of hurts a little bit.
So comms do one last Uprising plug, and we go back to John as he tells us again it's the end of the season, but we'll be back next week with a special look ahead to British Uprising 3.
Ooh.
How do you feel about this episode as a whole, as a season finale for everything we've watched up to this point?
Brilliant.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
I'd like to remind everybody this is my work he's talking about.
I mean, in my notes, you're getting a heck of a ton of praise for certain things within this, Mr. LaFour. Yeah, I really enjoyed this because again, if they could have extended it a little bit more, Sean Herbert, and included the Cabahhhna and Johnny Storm match, this would be my favorite episode so far of the entire FWA that we've done.
The last one, we finally nailed it.
But Sean Herbert's to blame. So,
I do think it is a shame that the Storm and Cabahhhna match had to be cut down. But I liked that the biggest match that had been built to since the first segment of the first narrative episode was the finale.
Talk about giving you a long build there. Eh? Fucking hell.
What inning are we in at this point? The 19th, the 20th or something? Or just the 5th?
I mean, what's 31 minus 7?
24.
Because the first of the... Yeah, there you go. So that's... My God, my brain doesn't work anymore. What's that, 4 months of build?
That's good, though.
Yeah.
6 months of build. That's basically like 6 months, yeah.
And you've kept Shane doing something that's still going to relate to this as well, with still occasional comebacks to Corino.
Yeah, all the threads get tied together at the end. I wonder how differently this would have gone if Corino and Jack Xavier had actually made that tag match
Yeah.
that was supposed to happen in Brent in the middle of the year.
One final thing I will say is it was going back to, I liked how the ECW chant started, but then we're overtaken by FWA chants. And it's like, that's
Yes.
a nice touch. Get rid of that.
These are the same people who were in the room with Balls Mahoney when they started ECW, and he got the mic and said, I don't work for them, they went out of business and didn't pay me. If you see something you like, you chant for FWA.
Find me Paul Heyman at the commentary desk. Tommy Dreamer.
And so, episode 32, that I've known as episode 26 ever since I made it, the British Uprising 3 preview show. November the 12th, 2004. Yes, this aired less than 24 hours before the doors opened for Uprising 3. So what could we realistically do apart from a final push? I do wonder if this sold any tickets, if anyone was on the fence and then decided to buy on the door after watching this the previous night.
Well, if nothing sold it, it was the opening of the episode. Boom, 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 boom. Jane Childs.
Fucking hell. I screamed and jumped off my sofa. I didn't remember this at all.
I put in our group chat, I absolutely had a jump scare, and then
Yeah.
obviously put in the meme of somehow Jane Childs has returned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so she interrupts the opening titles. I'd completely forgotten about this. She is clearly standing in front of a window with a blind rolled down and gaffer tape to the wall. How can you tell? You can see the gaffer tape. She won't be the only one on this episode either, I noticed. After weeks of John Atkins telling us who will be at Uprising, she is here to tell us that Nikita won't be at Uprising. So I wonder if anybody has bought a ticket hoping to see Nikita. And then, as the same as I wondered if this sold any tickets, I wonder if there are any refunds after this. We're like, oh, fuck, Nikita's not going to be there.
No wonder they didn't sell out the building because of 800 return tickets, weren't it?
Yeah. So we get clips of Soraya tombstoning Nikita, as Jane says. Nikita's physical scars have healed, but the mental ones remain, as she's been diagnosed with bimboitis. Symptoms include a glazed, vacant expression and an IQ lower than her bra size. She promises to give us more updates if there's any further word on Nikita's condition, and the interruption ends.
no.
This, I have no idea why this was on the show. It was weird, it was cheap looking, and it seemed really out of place. I've got no clue what the point was.
Did you have a spare 1 minute and 6 seconds that you had to call and found this promo?
Because the Nikita storyline had kind of disappeared for ages because obviously the Knights had to go back to their home planet and
Yeah,
do
and
other things.
this is like some fucking zombie hand shooting out the grave at the end of a movie, isn't it?
It's the bit at the end of a Masters of the Universe where Skeletor pops up and goes, "I'll be back," and it's like, and then just that after you should have, he was not back. Because what is Nikita doing by this point now? Because she's off.
I don't know. Should we need John to do Where's Nikita as well?
Where is Nikita? But
Yeah.
because obviously the story, and she's in that holding pattern of really kind of there's nothing else because her storyline is gone.
She will come back in the next year.
Right.
She's back in 2005. She becomes she turns heel and becomes Hay Vance's manager.
Ooh.
Uh,
Spoiler alert for anyone who's watching all this
Yeah.
for the first time when we come back to it.
I mean, she still wrestled in 2004, but just not for the FWA.
And to be fair, was she still on? I mean, she doesn't get signed by WWE until what, like a couple years later, I would say.
It's after Birchall goes, and she goes through OVW first.
Right. Okay. So she
I can't remember when she turned up in when she turned up in WWE.
2006 apparently is her first appearance.
Right. Yeah. So
she's still got 2 years left.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was such a surprise just going like this character who we thought had just been written off just suddenly reappeared and you're like, oh, okay.
And because of how it comes into the episode, I thought someone had taped over it. Because it's like it comes in with like VHS interference or what have you.
Yeah.
So we go to John Atkins. Not in the void. He has hopped through one of those purple portals and he is on a rooftop overlooking Coventry as he... Sorry? What do you mean that's not Coventry? That is 100% Coventry and not the roof of John's flat in Fulham after I turned up to shoot with him and found there was drilling going on in the building that was ruining the audio. We absolutely did not go up to the roof and try to keep Earl's Court out of the shot while we filmed the links because we couldn't wait for the works to finish.
Just seeing John there, just got the bloody tune up on the roof by Robson and Jerome.
So John tells us we'll get a little bit about each match in this episode, starting with the Next Generation three-way dance, Aviv Mayan versus Spud versus Ross Jordan, and he throws to clips of those three in action. So there's a little bit of Ross Jordan on offense against James Ty and Morecambe, Aviv giving Sticks the runaround in that great six-man match from a couple of episodes ago, and Spud on offense also against James Ty. We go back to John. We're going to whiz through this episode, by the way, when we're talking about the footage we've previously seen. There's no point dwelling on these clips.
So what I can say for John during all these like pre-tapes is enthusiasm for the old product. It's very reminiscent of Todd Pettengill back in the day as like the hype man. And
absolutely.
Like, by the end of it, I had a right stonk on. Like, I can't wait
for John. He's a handsome man, I know.
He is an handsome man.
Looks good in a grey suit.
But it's one of those I sort of like can't wait for.
I just can't believe he's out the void. I just can't believe he's on the roof.
Somehow he escaped.
Is it like that when Homer Simpson goes into that 3D like portal?
then he just turns up in a bin, but John Atkins turns up in a bin in Coventry or not Coventry, and then just starts wandering around.
So John explains how a 30-minute Iron Man match works, and then throws to the last minute or so of that James Ty versus AJ Styles match with the DQ finish. Next, he talks about Mark Belton's vehicular sabotage from last week, saying after that prevented him from competing against Colt Cabahhhna, he lobbied the FWA for another match against international talent. His wish was granted, and at Uprising, it will be 5-star Mark Belton versus D'Lo Brown.
I tell you what, his wish was to have a fucking proper camera on his promo, weren't it?
Jesus Christ. My next note says we cut to a fucking awful promo with Belton.
Shite.
It is out of focus and echoey, and he looks like he's about 40 feet away from the camera. He then basically says 3 times, I never get a chance to fight an import, and now I finally will. He blames Johnny Storm for slashing his tyres and says he will get a vote on whether Storm will be reinstated. More on that later. His closing line, though, is quite fun. He says, you may be a former WWE star, but you're not 5-star. Yeah, this looked absolutely dreadful.
Okay, so what we're about to see is we're about to see a shit promo that's filmed really shitty in the belt one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I've put in capital letters, the most professional man in this company is back doing the business.
Yep. I have mentioned previously all over the place that D'Lo Brown is the most professional person I ever worked with in my time in wrestling. And this is the promo that cemented that for me. So he asked, who's my opponent? What's the date? What's the show called? Where is it? And how long have I got? And I said, he's called 5-star Mark Belton. It's November the 13th, British Uprising 3, Coventry, and a minute would be perfect. And he went, got it. You ready? And then reeled this off in one take. It was bang on 60 seconds and he nailed all the pertinent info. So he basically covers the same ground as Belton. He says, you're talking about how you've never had a chance to fight a foreigner and you think you're going to start your winning streak at Uprising by beating me. And he ends it with, come November the 13th, your ass will be down with the Brown. I am paraphrasing because you can't do it without D'Lo's delivery. It's nothing special, right? Because there's not a huge angle going into it. There's no feud behind it. But as charismatically delivered information goes, this is A1 top draw stuff.
It was almost like a bit like delivery of a gospel singer, weren't it? Or a preacher.
Gospel preacher. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like such like an up and down of his voice, and it's so captivating.
Honestly, he is just so good at it. And I think anytime I see that D'Lo Brown's on a card for something we're going to watch, I know it's going to be professional. It's going to be probably at least there's going to be some emotion in it, because even when it comes to the match, he brings that professionalism and gets people invested in it. Even as you say, if it's something that has really only been built up on this show and this show alone, really, if we look at it. But, oh, yes, your ass will be down with the brown. Take it to the bank, partner. Let's go.
Back to John. He tells us a year ago that Jodie Fleisch was forced to retire, but had recently contacted the FWA saying he would appear at Uprising 3, but not in what capacity. John then throws to the Jodie tribute video that was part of British Uprising 2 when we watched that.
It's a tune, isn't it?
There is.
Tune.
Yeah. I was watching this thinking, what percentage of his life do you think Jodie Fleisch has spent upside down? Because this whole video is just him doing flips.
What I love about it is, like, there's not just every moment he's doing something that is actually hitting or actually is like is offensive. He's also like, you've also included stuff where he's missing stuff as well, or he's like just not hit. I like that. That was quite good.
But the song is about
no, and that's what I was about to say. It hits the points of what's being said in the song.
Like, there's like a theme of like sacrifice and stuff runs through the song. So, like, if it was his fucking Titantron, I wouldn't put him missing stuff in it, you know?
Yeah.
It's very much rise and fall of a king.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly that.
Story.
That's what I said. Yeah, I like about it because it does. It's moments where I was watching, I'm like, and what's being said in that song is matching right well with what I'm seeing. And I'm like, this is good stuff. This is great.
Yeah, I used to be good at this, man. The ending text has been altered to read November the 13th, British Uprising 3, the Phoenix will rise again. We come out of an ad break to earlier this week, and Mark Sloan is training with the Purple Cobras and Stevie Knight. He's got them doing Kung Fu horse stance, which is it's like a held squat with your arms outstretched. It is difficult and it is painful. If you've ever watched any old Kung Fu movies, this is in every single one of them.
I bet at the end of this taping about this segment, I bet all the lads were rolling around in laughter.
So Stevie is struggling, and he threatens Ollie Burns with that stretchy thing he hit him with last time. And Ollie slides a stool under his arse so he can sit down. Sloan goes around, he checks everybody's form, and when he and the camera come back to Stevie, he's sitting there with his legs crossed smoking a cigarette. This actually was earlier that week. It was shot at a Stevie Knight promoted show in Hull on the prior Saturday, which I think is also where the D'Lo Brown promo was shot.
All right.
I don't remember being at that show, but I definitely shot this and I definitely shot the D'Lo promo. So I must have gone to Hull just to shoot promos, which is fucking mad.
Okay. Love of the business, mate. That's what it is.
Well, yeah. John tells us that Sloan and Knight will challenge Hampton Court for the tag title at Uprising. This information is apparently bad for his mental health as he has moved much closer to the edge of the building. The thought of Mark Sloan becoming a tag team champion and John's ready to end it all. He throws to a video package dealing the whole saga. So Stevie announces quest for the belt. Back when do you remember he had that that fresh bleach job? I was really surprised when he pops up with bright yellow hair. So he announces his quest for the tag titles. He loses with George Castano against Simmons and Burchill. He chews out George for getting pinned. Hampton Court beat the family for the titles. Stevie and Dirk Feelgood try and fail to beat Hampton Court. And then Sloan pins Simmons to claim the #1 contendership thanks to Stevie's distraction. There's a big bit skipped in this video package. There is nothing about Sloan and Knight getting together. So it goes from Stevie losing with Dirk Feelgood, and then Mark Sloan pins Simmons, and Stevie Knight just happens to be his partner for the tag title match. 45 minutes to the frame, I guess. John says Johnny Storm will be appearing at Uprising 3, so that's both Jodie and Johnny announced, but neither of them have a match. He recaps Storm losing the Loser Leaves match to James Ty and says he's been on his Wonder World tour travelling the globe looking for FWA fans to sign his petition for reinstatement. We get clips of Johnny outside Broxbourne from last week's show, and then John recaps the Belton Cabahhna Storm situation, and we get a clip of the finish from Storm and Colt. And Atkins says Johnny's fate is now in the hands of his peers. At British Uprising, the 22 top stars of the FWA will each get one vote to determine whether he should be allowed to return to the company or if he's gone for good. Ad break, the Academy ad again, and someone on a motorbike apparently racing to the Coventry Skydome to get their ticket. John says, Uprising, it will be wild 6-man tag team war as Greg Lambert's triad of Drew McDonald, Raj Ghosh and Thunder take on Dean Ayers' army of Birchall, Paul Travell and Terry Funk. Plush? No, he's not plush. Plus, special guest referee Jimmy Hart. We'll talk more about that when we review the show.
Okay.
This also has a video package. Drew clobbers Birchall with a chair, causing him to lose by count out to Simmons. Birchall shows up before the Family versus Hampton Court title match and has to pull apart with Drew. Travell tries to introduce Mr. Pointy into that match, getting slapped by Lambert and gives Raj a sacrificial slam. Clips from the AS Lambert locker room confrontation with Drew punching out Dean.
Kieran.
One moment. And Thunder's debut and Travell getting bloodied up on the big fella's Luna Vachon jacket. Andy, go.
Yeah, so no, the recap of this, the whole angle, and I couldn't get out of my head your comment about when Drew pins Dean up against the wall like that.
Please see our Blue Sky account for details. fwapod.bsky.com or whatever the fuck it is. Bluesky.social, I don't know. So we cut to Dean Ayers in a field on a horrible quality camcorder. This is a very short clip from a longer promo that was on the website. He says that Travell just needed to hear my enemy's enemy is my friend and he was on side. And he said that basically says Greg is shit out of luck because they will have Terry Funk on their side at Uprising.
Where's Dean's travel log? fwa.co.uk, Kieran, have you got...
Apparently it was on the website. I've got no idea. Dean just gave me this tape. The claim in the longer version is that he's in Amarillo. It's actually just behind Dean's brother's house, I do believe this was shot, who does not live in Texas. We then cut to an indoor Dean promo. He is in front of the same taped down blind as Lisa was earlier. He tells a story about being top of his class at school until some new kid showed up and got better marks than him and says his dad told him as long as you've done your best, that's the best you can do, but there'll always be someone better than you. The trick is to be in the right place at the right time. And he says, Greg Lambert is a good manager, but for him, Coventry Skydome is the wrong place and November the 13th is the wrong time. And there's someone better than you and you're looking at him. He says, the Twisted Genius is that little bit better than the Truth. Paul Travell is just that little bit better than Raj Ghosh. Birchall is that little bit better than Thunder. And of course, Drew McDonald will meet his match in Terry Funk. He doesn't say Terry Funk is better than Drew McDonald, I noticed. Someone knows which side his bread is buttered. He says every second of every minute of every hour of every day leads you closer to a 6-man war. We are the generals, and it's your guys who are going to go down in defeat. Would have liked a stronger closing line, but it's all right as promos go, I think.
Yeah. Again, I think we discussed it last time. They're both the really, really good promos against each other, and they're both really good promos in general.
Yep.
When did the name the Triad become a thing? Have I missed this?
I don't remember. I think Greg does mention it during the beatdown of Travell.
Okay.
When Thunder debuts.
Yes.
But yeah, it was very short-lived. You're about to see the one and only match of the Triad next month.
Because obviously it was just interesting because I'm like, they're not still the Family, are they? And it's like, no they're now the Triad.
No, he officially killed off the Family when they took out Travell.
The only triad I know is that the Jersey Triad in WCW. that's the only triad I remember in this.
Well, I watched a lot of Hong Kong movies in the 90s, so I've seen plenty of triads. We cut to a 9-foot-tall, out-of-focus Greg Lambert for his rebuttal. He says, Dean has forgotten the old saying, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. He says the Triad are a cohesive unit, like fuck they are, whereas AS's ragtag trio are made up of a psycho in Paul Travell, an uncontrollable monster in Birchall, and the middle-aged and crazy Terry Funk, who could turn on either of the others in a heartbeat. He says Dean has also forgotten about Jimmy Hart as referee, who has been enemy of Terry Funk for over 20 years. And the final thing that Dean has forgotten is that, and someone's phone then rings in the background, but we plough on, Funk is a 60-year-old man, and not only is the Triad going to win the match, they're going to end the career of the legendary Terry Funk in the process.
I know we're going to wait until we've watched Uprising. As soon as I was like, okay, so it's a 6-man tag, interesting, and then as soon as they mentioned Jimmy Hart, I immediately went, what?
Yeah. I had that reaction too, but we'll cover it next month.
Just feels like overkill of unnecessary need.
It is a hat on a hat for sure.
Eddie, it almost feels like, like a match you'd see a For Love of Wrestling in it, where they just give these, like the international guests, oh, you can be a referee for the night, and, we got to use Jimmy out somehow.
It's
Yeah.
like Terry says, like Terry's like, this is my final match in the UK, and it would be like if it was Dennis Stamp going, I want to be there, but you're not. Burr's like, oh, but I need you there, Jimmy, I need you there. And it's like, Jimmy's like, I'm there, but I'm not booked. And then suddenly, like, Terry's just spoken to the promoter and went, can you just make him like the referee or something?
Eddie, sorry to go off topic, but do you remember, were you ever there for Terry Funk in PCW, dancing with Rikishi and Vader?
No, but I'm so need to know more about that.
Now, I wanted to look something up. He never wrestled for PCW, did he?
No, he didn't. No, he was a lumberjack.
Right. So, you're not far off, Eddie. This is Terry Funk's final appearance in the UK, final wrestling match in the UK, and he would only have one more match in Europe after this, the next weekend.
He's got a very close friendship with Jimmy Hart because Dennis Stamp wasn't available. So he's like, oh, but I need you there, Jimmy. I need you there. Impressions, motherfucker. Yeah.
You silly boy. So we go back to John as he tells us about the last man standing match for the All England title between Jack Xavier and Hayde Vanson, and throws to another package of Vanson costing Xavier the last man standing match against Alex Shane, Vanson and Xavier going to the double knockout, and Xavier pinning Vanson in the 6-man. I have a question. Can you feel Gold Rush fever? Because John says the winner will only have 2 weeks before they have to defend against Low-Key at the new FW event Gold Rush on November the 28th in Broxbourne. Should we talk about that ad?
I mean, I think 2 of us will want to talk about that ad. One of us was not very amused when he watched the ad, as confirmed in our group chat. I've also realised I've actually been at a Gold Rush show when it was under the XWA tab. So I'm like, yeah, Gold Rush.
Oh,
fever.
interesting. Yeah. So this will be the first one.
Okay.
We will get to see it, but not as a complete show. It forms part of the 2005 TV season.
Okay. And is this kind of like their first proper idea of obviously like a Rumble kind of thing, I assume, because they've never done that before?
So the only previous Battle Royal in FWA history, and I looked this up, I spent a long time checking all of the results on Cage Match, was on the very first FWA show in 1999, and that's the one that was abandoned when people started shooting on each other and fighting each other's families in the crowd. So that was almost 6 years before this. Because this was the only Battle Royal in FWA history, guess who had to go scrambling for all the footage he could find of people chucking each other over the top rope in other matches to make a promo about a Battle Royal show?
I mean, I tell you something, I really did enjoy this promo. This looked really, really good. The ending of it, though, I saw a face that we've not seen in quite a while, and this made me think, is he back? I'm pretty sure I saw Ulf Herman at the end of this this promo.
He's in the promo.
Is that are you telling me something, or is that just you found a clip?
So it says the return of Low-Key, shots of Low-Key.
Yep.
The return of Joe Legend, shots of Joe Legend. The debut of Chad Collier, seen missing. Andy Ogden falls asleep.
Mate, I've got Nam flashbacks from him against Robbie Brookside in the Liverpool Olympia at Unified. Fucking Comatose I was after that.
I don't remember him turning up, and had to look on Cage Match to see if he was actually on the show.
Oh.
Unfortunately for you, he was.
There would have been refunds galore that day when he turned up. But one thing I would like to mention, the actual poster for Gold Rush. It sort of made me remind myself of Sunfly karaoke that you get in pubs, and it was that sort of design with like a bee coming up. It like a Microsoft Paint job. You've not done much karaoke in pubs, have you, Kieran?
No, I've got absolutely no idea what you're talking about. So basically, Ralph sent me the song and the logo, and then all of these like PNGs of like cartoon, like illustrated cowgirls. And that's what I had to make this out of. Like, that was his idea for what a gold rush was going to look like. The other thing that is plugged is first time, last time, only time, Alex Shane versus Birchall. So guess who has signed with WWE and needs to do a job to the boss on the way out?
Bye.
So John gives the main event the hard sell. 1 fall to take it all. Alex Shane versus Doug Williams for the FWA heavyweight title. And if Shane loses, he must fight British boxing hero, the man who knocked out Mike Tyson, Danny Williams.
I've just sent you a picture in the chat.
Oh, God, hang on. Turn my phone off when we do this.
Because you're professional.
Yeah, the only one, apparently.
Whoa. Yes, that makes sense.
What the fuck is that?
I'm now on side with Andy. Yeah, that's basically what
okay. I understand from a layout point of view what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, fine.
How many fucking coins though for that noise at the end? You're like fucking just going out.
I had fuck it, this is going to stay in. Andy has sent us the Sunfly Karaoke logo, so I finally know what he's talking about. I had a program on my computer, obviously, that specialized in particle effects.
Okay.
So explosions and such, like rain, anything that is like little bits of stuff. And I just got it to output a load of coins and then went and found the sound effect to go underneath.
Brilliant. Because I was like, good one. I was like, oh, we're getting more of them, and then just kept going. You kept going. I'm like,
it did. And so the reason it kept going was because I should have stopped it earlier, to be honest, but the reason it kept going was to give people enough time to read all the information on the screen.
Yeah.
But I could have very easily have faded out the coins and the sound effect and just left the information. These are the things you learn after 20 years of experience.
But I liked it. It was a good promo, a good hype video, and it'll be an interesting... it's interesting to see a Rumble where people aren't going to shoot on each other because they might get yellow or red cards, unlike the days of 6 years, probably.
It is also my last show with the FWA. So the video package for Alex Shane and Doug Williams consists of Corino calling out Alex at New Frontiers. Doug comes out to do the false advertising bits up him versus Corino. Alex costs Corino that match with a chair and then gets driven off by Jack Xavier. Doug prevents Alex caving in Aviv's skull in Morecambe, gets given the 3-strike speech and decides he'll take that 3rd strike and decks Alex. Leroy Kincaid shoves Williams off the top rope at the end of his match with Joe Legend, and then Shane and Legend beat Williams down and they bloody him on the belt. Alex insults and humiliates Danny Williams in Broxbourne. I wish they weren't both called fucking Williams. It's so annoying.
What was Danny Williams' boxing nickname? Just go with that instead.
Big Dan. I don't fucking know.
The man who knocked Tyson.
Wanny Dilliams.
Big Danny.
Yeah, probably something really creative. The Brixton motherfucker or something. I don't know.
Brixton. Hold on. Here we go. Brixton Bomber, Dynamite Dan, Brixton Hammer.
The Brixton Hammer. All right.
The Southern Dandy.
So Alex insults and humiliates the Brixton Hammer in Broxbourne, and all of that kicks off. We get clips from a press conference with Shane, Doug, Danny, and Flash Barker. We need to talk about this press conference, right? It was filmed in an upstairs room in Barry Charalambous' pub, and I think the only quote-unquote journalist there was Patrick Lennon. It was really badly shot and acted, and they did several takes of various bits, and I was just given a tape with all this stuff and was supposed to make something out of it. The only bits I would allow on TV are what we have seen. The contract signing, the handshake ordered by Flash, and a clip that went in the music video of Danny getting a revenge water spit on Shane, which I recall they had to do several times.
I'm just imagining him saying that if someone's in the outside of the journalist watching this going, yeah, we just need to do that bit again so you can just pretend that you're not trying to spit on him.
There was nobody in the room who didn't know exactly how pro wrestling worked. And then we get the finish of Shane versus Corino, Williams crowning Alex with the belt. We cut to John in the room with the tape down blind. He is with Alex Shane for an interview. He almost immediately offends the show stealer, who grabs the mic off him and shoves him out of frame and addresses the camera himself. He says, worlds will collide as it's the wrestler versus the brawler, the entertainer versus the technician, and the only thing that matters is the FWA title. He says, the world knows Doug Williams is a top-notch wrestler, but can he fight? He says, at Uprising, he'll fulfill his destiny of becoming the FWA heavyweight champion, conveniently forgetting his reign in 2000. And there's two things everybody can do about it. That's all hail the new champion and like it. I've summarised the talking points because it's an Alex Shane promo, and as such, it takes the long road to get where it's going. But credit where it's due, this is his talk him into the building promo. His passion and delivery are excellent in this. Yep. It is a really good, like, final nail, like, final go and get your tickets now promo.
Doug Williams refuses to comment at this time.
Doug Williams couldn't be reached because he was in intense training for the match.
I don't know, mate. I don't hear from him. All I've heard of him is going on about trading fucking standards. You know, like, I get it. I just want, like, even though if he's not the best promo, you would still want to hear from Doug. But obviously, it's Alex basically taking this on his back and going, "I'm going to get the people in the building." But even then, like, if we're looking at it now, you can kind of tell, right? Okay, Alex is the only one who's talking, so I can pretty much feel that something is definitely going to happen that goes Alex's way at British Uprising because he's talking so much.
It's sort of like, you know, when you see on WWE, you know, when it's like, say CM Punk's there every week, innit? And it's always try to wait till Roman Reigns has got a date in his diary that he can actually turn up for a promo and then, you know, actually, you know, sell the match. It's very similar to that.
Yeah.
I'm not pressing the button for the music again, but when this was being shot, Doug Williams was in Austria.
What was he doing in Austria?
He was fighting Michael Kovac
what a
for
name.
2 different promotions, and he lost against him in one and won against him in the other.
Was it for the UEWA European Championship by any?
It was the first one was the semi-final of the EWA Intercontinental Title Tournament.
Oh.
And then the other one was just a show, as far as I know. Right. John gives it one last plug on the roof and throws to the British Uprising 3 music video that you two have been singing. This one only took me about 50 hours as opposed to the 70 for the Uprising 2 one. And this was my first real go with Adobe After Effects after British Uprising 2 was made entirely in Premiere. I seem to recall Sean Herbert saw this and called Alex to tell him it was the best wrestling hype video he'd ever seen. I think the Uprising 2 one is better.
I think Uprising 2 is probably better because you did it in Premiere Pro, which is a much easier program to use than After Effects, where you have to put them little dots in every time.
Do you mean keyframes?
Keyframes, yeah.
Yes.
Mate, when I first started on Adobe, it was on After Effects, and my mate who had been using Premiere Pro at work said, use this program, it's much easier to edit and what have you, you know.
Well, yeah, because it's not designed to edit in. That's why.
I know, but I never went away from Premiere Pro.
And well, the Premiere of 2004 is very different to the Premiere of 2026. Let me tell you, as someone who's been using it all that time. Anyway, people don't tune in to listen to this.
I'm just a Final Cut Pro guy. That's just me.
Yeah, I used to be. Oh, here we go. Let's get into this.
Let's go. The podcast is no longer about wrestling. It's about what.
No, it's not about wrestling. It's now about video editing. Yeah. So when I decided after FWA, when I decided I was going to go pro as a video editor, and I wanted to, basically you had 2 options. Premiere was not considered a professional package at that point at all.
All right.
Your 2 options, if you wanted to be a professional, were Avid or Final Cut Pro.
Yep.
And Avid was like $5,000 for a machine and a license. Final Cut Pro, I found a bloke for 500 quid selling an iMac with a Final Cut Pro license. So I bought that, learned Final Cut Pro, and that's how I really became a professional editor after doing FWA. And then even then, once we switched away from the company I was with, switched away from Final Cut to Premiere because Apple made the really fucking stupid decision years ago with Final Cut Pro X to basically stop supporting all the stuff we needed to support. I still switched all my shortcuts to be Final Cut Pro shortcuts. And Anyway, that's a nice boring story that I'll probably cut out.
Kieran.
yes.
So Uprising 2, is that the one where you always put in in like your show reel and what have you?
Not anymore. I don't think I have any wrestling stuff in my show reel anymore. There might be some leftover Rev Pro, but even that was 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I would say is this video is very much a similar setup where you're doing action shots to words and
Of course, yeah. It's because Ralph would write the song around all the storylines.
Yeah.
He sent it to me. And because I've been doing the fucking storylines for 6 months, I know what goes where.
Yeah. I think watching it myself, and it's a tune. It's an absolute banger of a tune.
This song went through several different versions. I have a CD that's got a bunch of them on, including one with not different lyrics, but definitely different vocal processing. That uprising bit that you really like was added later because Alex heard the song and he went, it's not anthemic enough, it needs to open up at the choruses, and that's what Ralph went and put in. I've still got a disc with a load of different versions of this on somewhere.
I can all imagine them all sat on settees, chain smoking. Oh, it's just missing one bit in it. What's the name of the show? Up, rising.
There was no chain smoking. I do remember it was at Tony Giles's house at a commentary session, and Ralph played it for the first time, and we were all like, "Yeah, it's good, but it's not Point of No Return." And Ralph was like, he was a bit sort of crestfallen, and Alex was like, it's got to be bigger, it's got to be grander. And then he came back with this, and we're like, you've nailed it.
I was just like imagining like Christopher Walken in Saturday Night Live saying he needs more cowbell, but instead of more cowbell, he needs more uprising.
The Terry Funk shots, I think, were from 2 episodes of Memphis TV that Sean sent me.
Okay.
I was so happy that they had an entranceway that looked like the FWA's in Broxbourne.
Yeah, I thought it was MLW from the way it looked.
Oh, it might have been one of them. So the bit where he pops out the coffin is definitely Memphis.
Yeah.
The other one might have been MLW. Sean's rationale was, well, this is going to air. I was like, what about copyright? And he's like, well, it's going to air on the wrestling channel, and we already air this stuff. And it's like, it just happens to be airing at the time this music video is.
Because I was going to say, I think just after this video, I think on Lee's kind of episode on it, it then cuts to, I think it's almost starts the beginning of MLW or an advert for MLW, and then it just cuts.
It does. And you know what the song is called on that MLW advert?
Is it Uprising?
It's called When Worlds Collide by Powerman 5000.
Oh, I remember that one. That was in,
Fantastic work as ever, Kieran.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I was going to say the exact same. I think especially with the kind of, and as you mentioned, Ralph is kind of coordinating the lyrics, kind of hit around what you're putting on the video. I think it's really great work. You've came on leaps and bounds the entire season and stuff like that. So
I will say I definitely noticed an improvement in the TV show across like the 6 months. And I don't just mean technically, I mean in terms of pacing and content and format. I think it's do you remember that fucking horrible Newport show?
Yes.
Where we basically race through an entire card of action, just get it off my show. And then all that shit in the leisure centre in Enfield.
Yes.
And like FWA in proper buildings looks good.
I think as well when the crowd is really up for it, like, because this crowd was really, really up for it, whereas I think in those other ones, they've not massively.
2004 is where they really discovered their 2 hotbeds, which are Morecambe and Broxbourne.
Yeah.
And you'll notice we have not been in any other venue for some time. Before the death of FWA 1.0, the last show in Broxbourne was Crunch 2006 in April 2006.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like there's nothing like this far south again until the comeback in 2009.
Cool. But getting on to your point, yeah, everything's been, you've done, you can definitely see it's come on leaps and bounds. And as we mentioned, those venues are getting a lot of kind of hype and a lot of kind of crowd interest, so I can see why they're going back and forth.
No, I was just going to ask the question, and I would probably ask this in more further detail on the Uprising show. But do you feel yourself watching this that this is the? Do you think this is the peak, and they probably, when we get into the numbers of attendance for Uprising, they're probably disappointed it didn't sell more?
It's not the creative peak. I think the creative peak was 2003, although I think there has been lots of good stuff throughout 2004. And British Uprising 3 does the highest attendance of any FWA branded show ever. However, it's still only half of what that building can hold.
Yeah.
I will say that this episode was the beginning of the end for me.
Oh.
I hadn't been paid in a long time. And I sent an email saying, the episode's finished, not taking it to the playout centre till you pay me. And I got an email back from Alex calling me an ungrateful cunt, saying there are loads of people who would love to be in my position working in British wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, well, how do I pay my bills? What leverage have I got in this situation? All I can do is hold this up until you pay me. It got resolved, obviously, because it went on the air. I don't remember how it got resolved, but yeah, that was a nice thing to get from your boss. And that was a moment I decided I probably wasn't going to be working there much longer. But we will cover that. We'll cover a bit more of that next month, and then we'll cover it properly, my departure, once we do Gold Rush, as that's my final show.
He probably sent round Leroy Kincaid sticks and stones.
So, the final thing in our playlist was a 40-second commercial for the TV broadcast of Uprising 3. I just put it in for completeness, no need for a review. This would have aired the week before the airing on TWC. After seeing, you kind of hinted at it earlier, but after seeing all of the TV, the music video, the ads, the promos, and getting the hard sell from John Atkins, as people who've never seen it before, how are your hype levels for British Uprising 3?
It was less hard sell, more hard on.
So I want to put a hole in the middle of a DVD.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped for it, mate.
Good. Eddie?
We're both the Daisuke Sekimoto picture where they goes, I'm hard. Yeah, I'm excited about it because I'm interested to see the stuff that happens, because again, I've never seen it before. So the TV has done enough to make me go, I can't wait to kind of see this. From what I've heard, it doesn't seem like it ends up being a good show, so I'm very curious to see what happens. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to watch it. I can't wait.
Tremendous. Are you also ready to do your plugs?
Yeah, I am. I don't know why you said that in a kind of sheepishly way. I'm not getting sued for anything. You can find me on Twitter at KawadaKicksBest. You can find me on Blue Sky occasionally still. The tournament is currently still, we're still going through some technical stuff and some things. I'm still trying to buy back the ring apron, which I found is currently with a former FWA employee. Not going to name any names. Sticks. But once we kind of get that hopefully sorted, I can get that back. I just need to find the belt and a couple of other things, but we're making our way through it there.
Okay, good. Good.
Again, final things. Don't listen to the Restlicious podcast that we do on Grapple. If you're a King of the Mountain, you're able to listen to it. It was shite. There might be some that may actually be quite good coming soon from me on audio, but maybe you'll find out about that when it gets released. I don't know when it gets released, but we'll tell you more about it then. Or I'll plug it then. Thank you.
Amazing. Andy?
I would say you can follow me on X, but I am one of the victims of the hacking scandal of one cage match trigger, or someone impersonating him. So you can't follow me on there as I'm currently suspended. But you can also follow my other account at GCP Podcast 1. And follow me on Instagram, Andy Ogden 1984, to follow me on all my pub adventures. And I'm on the recently on Graps and Claps. We've done the whole weekend of PCW Road to Glory, Europe's most prestigious wrestling tournament of that week, to be honest, as we review trips to Mark Kelly's, the New Road Inn, the Ramsden Arms, and also all the wrestling action, including a candidate for worst match of the year with Half Danner.
The fucking names of the people in this match. Jesus Christ.
Mad-Eyed Benny was in the opening tag match. He was an interesting character. And the Blackpool Rock, Barry Matthews, some great characters.
These sound like, if there's a wrestling scene on a sitcom, these are the names that get given to the wrestlers. Like Dave Mastiff as Mad-Eye Benny and shit like that.
This all sounds like that. It's like names from that ITV show that they did, which was called like what, Deep Heat or something. Or,
Yeah.
But you can go and listen to that. And also coming up on Graps and Claps, we've got another episode of Shites where me and Matty are reviewing the 2005 version of TNA Final Resolution. That's the one with Jeff Jarrett and Monty Brown as the main event. And myself and Kieran are doing. So, as Mark Buckley put it, how the fuck do you keep finding all these shit Brit Rest TV shows? So we're doing a satellite wrestling on Screen Sports, aren't we, Kieran?
We are indeed, yes. That's coming up pretty soon. I need to do some research and some notes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I've seen one of the episodes. It was pretty fun, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, certainly. There's a lot of Mark Rocco on that, which is also good.
Yes, it's Mark Rocco Championship Wrestling, yes.
Plus, I don't think there's any sightings of Big Daddy or A-Stacks.
Yes. Fantastic. Before we go, I have a request. If anyone within the sound of my voice has any episodes of the show UK Roundup, we want to hear from you. It contains a lot of FWA 2004 footage that wasn't aired on the TWC show. And in fact, when I was looking through the listings, there appear to be only 3 matches on it that I didn't film and only 2 that I wasn't in the building for. 6 episodes aired between November the 19th and December the 30th, 2004 on the Wrestling Channel. I am able to capture any format, so VHS, DVD, or if you want to meet up with me with my laptop and you with your old Skybox, we can archive these things and we can cover them because they are technically FWA on TV. Please get in touch if you have any episodes. Ways you can get in touch include linktr.ee/FWApod. We are on Twitter, Blue Sky and YouTube at FWApod and Instagram at FWA.pod. As for me personally, I am at Kieran Edits on Blue Sky. Thank you very much for listening. Next month, Worlds Collide at British Uprising 3, and there's 2 things you can do about it.